Teachers are quitting because kids can't read by It's a Cute English Teachers. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let's watch it.
And basically, whenever I say kids can't read, they are reading at either a kindergarten or a first grade level. When it comes to spelling, I'm seeing a lot of children who can't even spell the word said, for, mother, father in the 4th or 5th grade, which makes me wonder what's going to happen when they're in middle school and high school.
These kids can't read. They can't decode. They have no vocabulary, no background knowledge. I've never seen anything like it. For context, for 8 years, I taught a self-contained program for significant language-based learning disabilities. Like, it was the most restrictive environment. It was the step before being sent to a specialized school. And my 5th graders with significant language-based learning disabilities could write better than non-disabled.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
They can't write a sentence. They don't know what state they live in. They don't know what region of the country they're in. They have no background knowledge. Most of them don't know who the president is.
What the fuck? What's going on? What's happened?
You know, they're coming to school with no background knowledge. They have very low skills. And yes, part of my job is to help them find those skills. And as a special education teacher, like, I'm obviously going to be working with students who require specialized instruction, but I'm not talking about specifically my students. I'm talking about students in the grade period. And this was the case last year. They can't take notes. They can't even attend to a video. They can't even attend to a 3-minute video clip. I can play it. I can tell them what it's going to be about. I can summarize what the video did, and not a single one can tell me what the video was about.
I saw another teacher from another school across the street from our school walking to her car this afternoon, and she looked like she could barely walk to her car. And I was like, we're almost to Thanksgiving, like, you know, trying to be friendly. And she was like, just unloaded on me. She's like, I've been teaching for 34 years. I have never had it this hard. What is wrong with these kids? Not in a bad way, but like, I don't know how to reach them. I feel like one lesson that used to take a day is taking a week now. The attention span, blah, blah.
And I teach at one of the more affluent schools.
Oh my God. So this is, again, so this is something related to technology? Is that alone? I mean, is the technology alone the problem, or also, I don't know, vaccines, professors, food that is different today? I don't know if it's only technology that made this to kids. The parents that nowadays don't know how to teach kids anymore, like they don't know how to be parents, actually. And I'm saying this not only because, oh, let the kids use technology all the time, since babies, but not only about that, but they actually don't know how to educate them. They don't know anything, like, I don't know. Something's wrong. Something's really wrong. Hopefully we will see. We will see the reasons on this video as well.
When I tell you.
And of course, ChatGPT doesn't came to help, I guess, right? Yeah, and many other stuff. What's gonna be of her future? Oh my God.
These babies cannot read. They cannot write. And they cannot comprehend. I'm not being funny. I'm being dead serious. It doesn't exist. I have kids constantly asking me, how do I spell window? How do I spell important? How do I spell though? And they be serious. They're dead serious. I could ask them, who is the main character of your story? The story of
oh my
4
God.
paragraph story we just read. Can't tell you. They don't know. They don't know. They don't know. It took us 4 weeks to get through how to answer a question in a complete sentence.
The fact that I have 4th graders who cannot read independently at all is just like, one, what am I supposed to do? Because teachers are not miracle workers. If I'm required to teach 4th grade standards, the 4th grade standards do not include me teaching phonics. Now, I understand RTI, the MTSS process, and different safety nets like that, but doing that for 30 minutes a day is not going to solve the problem. So what is really the expectation? Are we just going to continue to fail the students and not teach them how to read?
I think that you guys don't know what's going on in education
Oh my
right now. That's
God.
fine. Like, how could you know unless you were working in it? But I think you need to know. So here's exactly what it's like right now working.
I was already aware. I was already aware of this stuff, but in the perspective of my country. But I didn't know that it was so bad out there as well. Oh my God, this is hell no. It's I think every place it's being really it's become really like equal in bad, you know. Oh my God, like it's the same thing that happened here, but we are kind of, I don't know, it's bad to say this, but we are used to have bad education here, you know, to see people complaining. Not only we have bad students, but we also have bad teachers as well here, okay? And we gotta say that too, because otherwise it would be unfair. We also have very, very bad teachers. But yeah, we have more than that, we have worse students, and it's
In
complicated.
public education. First of all, the kids have no ability to be bored whatsoever. They live on their phones and they're just fed a constant stream of dopamine from the minute their eyes wake up in the morning until they go to sleep at night. Because they're in a constant state of dopamine withdrawal at school,
Yeah,
they behave
technology
like
is a
addicts.
tool.
They're super emotional, like the smallest thing sets them off. And when you are standing in front of them, trying to teach, they're vacant. They have no ability to tune in if your communication isn't packaged in short little clips, or if it doesn't have like bright flashing lights. That's actually the way harder part for me than just the outright behaviors, is just being up at the front, talking to a group of kids who have their eyes open, they're looking at me, but they're not there. They're not there. And they have a level of apathy
Oh my
that I've
God,
never
they're
seen
like
before
zombies,
in my
I don't
whole
know.
career. Punishments don't work because they don't care about them. They don't care about grades. They don't care about college. It's like you are interacting with them briefly in between hits of the internet, which is their real life. I've seen some TikToks recently where teachers are getting a lot of hate, like for
Holy
not
shit.
adapting to the kids or punishing them or whatever. And I just gotta say, like, I can
Oh
tell you with
God.
absolute certainty, it is not the teacher's fault. It might be the parents' fault. It might be our capitalistic society's fault, but it is not the teacher's fault.
Teaching is no longer a sustainable get-to-retirement
Capitalist.
career.
It's society.
Many
Oh
teach
God.
as long as they can, and then they leave. The health toll alone is reason to bail on this job. One thing that myself and the Educated Exit team has seen is that teachers are really sticking it out truly as long as they can, and then getting to a breaking point where they say, I can't do this anymore. I can no longer remain a teacher. And there are really many reasons for that. But what I want to talk about is the second part of this comment, where this individual highlights the toll that working in education actually takes on a person's body, because that is not something that is talked about enough. Teachers, school counselors, school psychologists, you name it, across the board, educators are required to be on all day. And while they're on, they are putting their needs second to their students. And that act of being on all day long is putting educators in a really vulnerable position where they don't have enough physical or mental energy to give to their families at the end of the day. They don't have enough physical or mental energy to give to themselves and take care of their
What
own
she
health
say
and
is also
safety
true,
at the
okay?
end of the day.
It's
when
true.
we ask an entire profession
She's not
to
exaggerating.
put
But
someone
I'm
else's
talking,
needs
of course. But again, talking, of course, at the point, the viewpoint of someone that lives in a total different country. But here, it's common. It's already very it's common knowledge, you know, that teachers have health problems, like when they hit like 40 or 50 years old, they acquire a lot of physical problems related to be staring in front of the boards all the time and you know, writing, and this gives them a lot of problem. And hell, I will not even mention to always bring work to home, to finish at home. from the school. You know, that's like because people tend to think that the professor the teacher he only works at the school, but he works double at home. You know, there is like tasks to see and etc. to plan the next lesson and all of that stuff, and from many different classes that they work on during the day, you know. So yeah, it's double the work.
Before their own every single day, and when we pay them poorly and when we treat them with disrespect, it should not be a surprise that those individuals are leaving the profession.
I'm like a health and wellness girly, and this job does not align with that whatsoever. I woke up so early and I had to start working at 7 o'clock, and I did not get sunlight into my eyes until I walked outside for recess at noon. I didn't have any windows in my classroom. Both years at this school, I didn't have any windows in 2 different classrooms, and nothing against the school, but the building structure, not the best. And I know a lot of other teachers don't have windows either. If I wanted to work out, I had to wake up so early before work to do that, and that was important to me, and it is a very important thing for me. But if I worked out after work, I was so mentally exhausted that like the workout was terrible. And throughout the day, as you are teaching, you don't get a break, you get a planning period, which in that time, you can use that as a break, but then when in the world are you going to plan your lessons for the next day, for the next week? The second huge reason kind of...
Oh, you guys have it there? Here it doesn't have it. We don't have this stuff. Oh my god. We have to do all that at
trickles
home.
in from the no breaks to the mental strain that this job gives you. Like I said before, it is a job where you have no energy left at the end of the day. And even though you're getting off at 4, you're getting off at 3:45, or even some schools get off earlier, it doesn't matter because I'm coming home and I'm a shell of a human and I don't function after a day of 40, 50 kids needing things from me. It's honestly so incredibly overstimulating. And even when it's not bad things that they need you for, even if they're not screaming at you, which sometimes they are, even if they're just needy and they need answers for something, having so many of them needing you at once, it's so draining. And with that, I had 2 classes, so I had 40, 50 kids, and I honestly carried the burden of them with me when I left the building at the end of the day. And that's not something that you can just decide to put off. I tried my absolute best to leave it at the door, but if you really care about these kids, which I really, really do, and I still do, that burden goes with you after work. The third really big reason is student behaviors. This coming from somebody who was at an incredible school. Like, this has nothing to do with my school. I'm so glad I was at the school that I was at. But even at a great, incredible, high-performing school, we still had terrible student behaviors. I think these come from overexposure and underparenting. Like, my kids have phones. They're 8.
Yeah.
They're
the general saying is,
and
but what else?
I feel like there's a lack
the depths of
of
it.
parenting for
I think it's too much superficial to
students.
just claim to
There
choose
are
stuff.
a handful of good parents that do
Probably
parent
there
their
are
kids
more
and limit
reasons.
screen time and actually take the time to teach their kids their morals and life skills and all the things. But then there is a larger population that they leave it up to us to...
Exactly. The
put
majority
pieces back
never
together.
cares.
And
It's
that,
just the
honestly,
few ones
is not
that
my
take
job.
care of their
The
kids
fourth reason I'll
actually
talk on
at
today
home.
is just the pressure to perform. A classroom teacher is a very performative job. You have a beginning of the year observation, a mid-year observation, you have an end of the year observation, and then your admin can pop in at any point during the day, during the school year, whenever they want to.
Well, guys, I made it a week, and I asked to put my resignation in. I've been dealing with so many health problems.
Now this, what she say, is very it's very concerning because it's happening here, and it's not a little. It's not a little, like it's happening to most of the teachers that are finishing graduation, you know. Most of them just are giving up right after starting, or most of them are not even starting after finish a degree. They just give up because it's really impossible, you know. It's really something that became impossible here. I don't know what to say.
Due to stress, at least the last 2 years.
The ones that are still trying, that are still continue here, are the older teachers, the ones that already has like a 20 years career or 30 years career, because they have a lot of benefits that helps them to keep there, because it's something that is you guys not gonna understand, because it's way different from my culture to yours, but here teachers have benefits when they use it to have more, and the time that when they join it, the government as a teacher, you know, a public teacher, so they have these benefits that, and once you're in, they cannot remove these benefits out. But nowadays the government diminished a lot of those benefits that teachers have, so the new ones are not getting these benefits, like more salary and stuff, more income, more month income, and a lot of bonuses that the older teachers had when they joined. So there, without this incentivize and all of these new works of modernity, that all of this extra work that the teachers are having, that it just became impossible then to actually teach at the schools. These are making teachers to like resign right after a join as a teacher and give up being a teacher, you know.
And I was hoping that being at a new school,
myself included here,
would
I don't
change
plan
that.
to.
And
Hopefully,
day
I will
3,
not
I
need
was
to
in
teach
urgent
ever
care
again
because
in
I
a
thought
school. I don't want to.
doesn't matter what I thought, but it all came down to chronic stress. And I walked in the next day and said, I cannot do this anymore. And, you know, one of the questions people ask me is, why are teachers quitting so much? I'm going to tell you my experience. And this might not be everybody's experience, but for me, I am in fight or flight mode all day long. And I really don't know what would change it. I guess just the caseload. It's so much pressure in so many different areas. It's hard to explain to people that aren't in it. Like, it's not the kids, at least at my school. For some, it's different. At this school, it's not the kids, it's not the parents. It's the workload. I narrowed it down to 2 choices. I said, okay, number 1, I either need to make peace with working 50 to 60 hours, and I need to go get some antidepressants. Option number 2 is make peace with quitting and trying something new. And that's what I decided. And it just sucks because obviously I went to school for this. Like, this was my dream. So not only am I mourning this job, I'm mourning my dream. Like, I thought this was going to be it for me. I love being a teacher. It's my health.
Yeah, I love
is
the
just,
same for
my
me.
body is saying no more. One of my friends told me, because I keep asking my friends for advice, you know, people who have been in this career for so long. And I asked her, and she said to me, you know, I'm not going to tell you to quit, but your body certainly is. And Colleen, that comment changed my life.
Here are the top 3 reasons that teachers are leaving the profession from my perspective. Number 1, lots of teachers are leaving the profession because of these kids and their behaviors. Now understand, we know that kids are going to be kids wherever you go. But a lot of these behaviors that we are seeing each and every year, more and more, and this is pre-COVID, a lot of these behaviors are really too much for a teacher to handle. You've seen these videos that teachers are posting
That is
where
true.
kids
That
have
is true.
completely destroyed their classrooms because they get dysregulated or because their parents didn't discipline them enough to hear no. All of these things. But you also have children who are stealing from the teacher, children who are throwing staplers across the room at the teacher. You have children who are threatening the teacher and parents who are backing those kids up. And understand that a lot
Yeah,
of this
that
stuff
also
is
happens
not a
here.
teacher
That
management
happens
issue. A lot of
here
these
as
teachers
well.
are doing their absolute best to manage these classrooms to create a sense of safety. But some of these behaviors are outside of our control. And that concept actually brings me to the second reason that a lot of teachers are leaving, because it's kind of connected to administrators too. Because with a lot of these behaviors that we're seeing, we teachers look to our administrators to back us up. And those of you who are in the classroom know that does not always happen. A lot of you have probably heard the stories of the kid who gets sent to the principal's office and then like 10 minutes later they come back to class with like a lollipop or a bag of chips. No. Those stories are not exaggeration, they're real. We've all experienced it. Now, we get that a lot of administrators are very sensitive to the whole school to prison pipeline issue, where like the more I suspend a kid, the more likely they are to go to prison because they fall more and more behind in school. But not to evade that issue, there are still some solutions that we can take to fix some of this really needy behavior. Additionally, lots of principals may not back you up when they get a parent complaint because of this customer is always right mentality, where even though your teacher has well-documented supports for the kid, the parent could still complain despite your best efforts, and your principal will not back you up at times. It's literally the worst feeling to have listened to your administrator out of respect and out of a sense of cohesion to do everything they say, and then to still get hung out to dry like that. It's awful. And then finally, the third reason, parents, is y'all. Anybody who works with kids will tell you, even with some of these post-COVID behaviors, the most stressful thing about working with kids is not working with kids, it's the adults who the kids belong to. And it's not the
The adults looks exactly like the kids that they have. Yeah, I got you. I understand.
that we don't want to make you happy. It's not that we don't care about your kid. It's not that we don't want you involved with your kid's education. It's that sometimes you are so uninvolved that when you finally choose to involve yourself, you do it in the worst way possible. I've talked ad nauseum on my own page.
And taking the wrong side, taking the side of the kid that is in the wrong, instead of the teacher that is trying to correct and do the right thing.
Parents who are just finding out when they get to 5th grade with their kid that their kid doesn't know their basic facts. Like, how do you get that far and not know that? And then you will blame the current teacher for the issues that you've worked yourself up to for the past 5 years. We got parents who are hitting on teachers both.
It's the mistake transference, like, oh my god, I don't know how to say this in English, but he's transferring he doesn't take, or she doesn't take the accountability for what was made with the kid up until now, with her toddler or whatever, up until now, and then they decide that it's your fault because they don't want to take accountability for their mistakes, for what they done or not having done for all this time. And I know, it's teacher's fault, yes.
Romantically and physically.
It's easy.
We got parents who are complaining about the fact that we won't wipe their kids' bottom. Like, have you ever seen an Honest Teacher Vibes video? Like, if you have not seen her read some of these odd parent requests, just like, watch one. Just watch one. But there is nothing like the feeling of coming into work, ready to teach, and having an angry teacher email in your inbox. Like, your heart just drops to your feet. Now, that's not exactly what this person is asking. This person is asking, what about schools that have very high teacher turnover? Would that be a red flag for that particular school? And in light of those three things, I would say absolutely. When I did that research, it was very much from a theoretical basis. I had not yet become a teacher, and I hadn't yet experienced those three things. I had actually expected it was mainly because of like the environment of the school or teacher pay. But having taught 4 or 5 years in various places where the parents are out of control, where the students are out of control, both, and or the administrators are out of control, I have left each of those situations for one of those three reasons, and I have many, many friends who have done the same. So again, in the context of that comment, they were asking, is a school with high turnover, is that a big issue? Is that the sort of thing that you might want to decline an interview for? And I would say, not looking so good, because chances are you're dealing with one of those three things, if not all three. And what that shows you is that teachers will put up with a lot of things for not a lot of money. Understand that up until this point, the population of American teachers, a lot of them have been teaching for 10 years plus. We new bloods are very much in the minority. So assuming that most of these teachers who are creating these vacancies are likely veterans, why would a veteran who has been through all sorts of ups and downs of education, why would they be choosing to leave right now? This is a teacher who has been through no...
Because now we live in modern society, the post-COVID era where even these kids' parents are very badly educated, and oh god, hell no, like even their parents aren't very well raised already, because they came already from a bad moment in society, and they decide to have kids, and these kids have even worse education that they had actually, because they were not ready to be parents and they decide to do so and are not raising their kids well. Plus COVID thing, and the kids were all evolved for all the time with technology, and now we are all reaping. Yeah. Yay for modern society again.
Child left behind. This is a teacher who might have been through 9/11, who might have been through all of these discriminatory hiring and teaching practices, and they decided to leave now. What is that telling you about that school?
For those of you who don't know, I was a Canadian teacher for 10 years in British Columbia, and I resigned before the school year ended. There were many factors that led to my resignation, none of which had to do with my students. And my soul is uneasy knowing that I didn't get a chance to tell my side of the story, that parents, teachers, and students were all fed whatever side of the story they were told from the school's perspective. When I handed in my resignation, I did not step foot back into that school. I left my classroom as is. Even to this day, all my decor, everything is still exactly the way it is. I can just feel my heart rate like increasing like crazy. And I'm sharing my story because I know there are so many teachers that are treated so poorly by the district that I worked for, by people on many, many levels, and can't say anything about it. Don't have the platform to say anything about it, are silenced, don't know what to do. I think the part that made me really sad though was the fact that only a few teachers and a few parents actually reached out to ask if I was okay, and knew that I would have never left my students mid-year to hurt them. That something seriously wrong must have happened for me to have made such a huge decision overnight. It makes me sad because I worked really hard to build those parent relationships. But it is what it is. Some of you might remember that back in February, I posted a video where I was crying my eyes out and I was quite literally having a panic attack. And in that video, I stated that sometimes it's not the students that make your job as a teacher difficult. It's the adults in the building. That was back in February. I know this because it was literally the day before my birthday. And that was the start of a very, very steep downhill of being treated like absolute freaking garbage at the school that I worked at, being harassed, bullied, union meetings. I started to isolate myself. I wouldn't go to the staff room because I didn't feel welcomed. I would sit in my classroom and cry almost on a daily basis at lunch. And it all started because of one teacher. And the ironic thing is that I used to give tips and advice on how to deal with colleague conflict. Trust me when I say I was following those exact steps. This woman was completely unhinged. I had asked her a simple question, and when I tell you that she lost her literal shit on me, I tried to have a conversation, a calm, collected conversation with her afterwards, and she started to yell at me on top of her lungs in front of 2 other colleagues. I left her classroom in tears. Other parents saw me crying. I notified my union because I truly wanted to have a collegial relationship with this person. There were reasons that we needed to be able to work together. Initially, the union wasn't helpful at all because they told me that I should write down my feelings about what happened and rip it up. And I asked them, so is this type of behavior tolerated, that a colleague can just yell at you in front of other colleagues? Mind you, this wasn't the first time this person had yelled at a teacher in front of other teachers. So from my perspective, this behavior was being tolerated. And what made matters worse was this person was also part of the union. They were a school rep. When I did sit down with them with a mediator, she again lost her complete shit on me and started yelling at me. At which point the mediator said, no, conversation's over. This is not being dealt with. I was in hysterics. I've never been yelled at like that in my life. In my career as a teacher, I have never witnessed such unprofessional behavior. She then went on and made it her personal business to make my life a living hell. Reported my TikTok, and I was pulled into a union meeting with the district principal.
Before we go any further, I want to take this brief moment here to thank all of you, my patrons, that support my work here on YouTube, and especially my 5-tail fox tier member, Zalost, and my 3-tail fox tier members, Heath Rowell, Fenny Sylvy, and Radmuiel, for the incredible support to my work. Thank you very, very much. You guys are amazing. Also, thanks to everyone who donated to me through Tron and to all of my YouTube members. You can support this channel life and growth with just $5 a month and gain access to many perks. This is less than a burrito. Check out my Patreon. Link is in the description below. Hell no, what the fuck? Oh, what the fuck was that? Oh god, Jesus. I don't know what to say. This one was for just to... Oh god, Oh, that was too much. But yes, I hopefully I will not need to go back at teaching again. I just... if I will be back to do so, it will be online teaching. I don't want to work in classes anymore. I don't want to. It was like a terrible experience. I don't want to. I don't want anymore, you know? If I gonna do so, it would be online, unless I don't have any other choices. Any other choices of living, then I would go back to a class, but not because I want anymore. My dreams were totally destroyed really after teaching a class, you know, so I don't want anymore. Yeah. That's all from me, yes. Yeah, I guess I ended up doxing myself a little bit, but yeah, that's fine. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. This is a little bit different. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's not the type of thing that I usually bring to you guys in the edit channel, but someone suggested it and I thought, why not? So yeah, I mean, I found it interesting, so I thought my audience like me, so they probably gonna find this interesting as well, so I brought it. But yeah, thank everyone for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, check the links below, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye!